Hello, good people, once again. The last time I talked about proximity alerts had to do with just creating them manually with a text editor. So in the POI loader, I clicked on Help, and then I went to Creating Custom POI, and then Creating Custom POI Files. And in this documentation, it does say you can use a GPX. But what I said in the last video about this, I said, well, it's kind of the complicated way, and editing with a text editor is the easier way, and it is. But we are all a bunch of navigation nerds, right? I know I am. So we're going to do it the more advanced way, so we can set an exact near exact distance for when you want to be alerted when coming up to a certain point on the map. That's what we're going to do. Cancel this. Now, yes, I am running Windows XP. I always say this whenever I show XP. I run Linux, and this is a virtual environment because this is the way I like to record screencast videos. Yes, I have a Windows 10 laptop on the side, but I don't want to break that out. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Even though I'm running XP, it's going to look the same in Windows 10 or Windows 11. And speaking of which, let's bring up this guy. You have to have the BaseCamp software for what I am about to show you. So, this is at garmin.com/basecamp. If you don't have it, the BaseCamp software that is, scroll down on this page, and there is the Windows or Mac. For those of you still holding out, excuse me, with Windows 7, it says app cannot be installed on Windows 7 without Service Pack as it's not compatible with .NET Framework 4.6. Well, I don't know anyone that would run Windows 7 at all these days, but if you are running it, it's got to have at least Service Pack 1 to run BaseCamp. Supposedly will still work. Okay. So that's where it is. You do not need to install maps. Excuse me, BaseCamp maps, because we're going to do it in the way that pulls the map data from the Garmin device itself. I have a nuvi 40 connected right now. There's my little Garmin drive. Now, although we're going to do GPX stuff, we don't go to the GPX folder on the device itself. Just POI. That's all we have to do. So I just wanted to show this to you. And with that said, we are going to launch BaseCamp now. Please have your device connected first before launching BaseCamp, and I'll show you why right now. Watch over here. Yep. See how it's all connected and whatnot. Now, if you have never launched BaseCamp before with a nuvi or DriveSmart device connected, it's going to take a while for this to cache the data. Mine's already cached, so it's quick. And you're going to get a little warning up here. You can get rid of that. You're going to initially see, now I have my maps in here, the SAT 103 maps, but you will initially see just a global map, which is just really basic. Once you have your device connected and once it is all cached up, so to speak, click on maps, and then you'll see the device maps here. You're going to get a little warning. You can get rid of it, and you're good. Now we're almost done, but we have to go into options, and we have to set our measurement system, which can be metric or statute. If you're in the United States or a place that uses miles instead of meters and kilometers, as you use miles and feet, you use statute. If you use kilometers and meters, you would use metric. So that's the only option we need to set here. And once you have that set, okay, you'll see why that matters in a moment. And the next thing we have to do is that under my collection, we do have to create a list. So that's File, New, List. And I'm just going to call this one and I'll put it in all caps so you can really see it. Custom. Okay. There's nothing in custom right now. And this is where we go to Google Maps. Now what I am going to do is to show what happens if I configure a proximity alert of a very specific distance, and the place I will choose, I'll just give an example scenario here. If I'm traveling from here all the way down here, I have to pass through Alabama. In Alabama, it is illegal to have anything suction mounted to the windshield. Anything. As a matter of fact, not only anything suction mounted, but anything that, like a sticker. No, absolutely cannot do it anywhere in the state. In Mississippi, you're fine. In Louisiana, you're fine. Texas, you're fine. Florida, you're fine. Alabama, nope. And I have to pass through Alabama right here. It's about a 65-mile stretch out of Mississippi through Alabama, then into the state of Florida. Okay, so now I know that when I pass through here, it's either, depending on traffic, I'm going to be routed either through 98 or Interstate 10. So I would have to make two. And this is where I go get coordinates. So you can see the border, whoops, right here. I follow the border down. All right, there is the border. We'll start with the Interstate 10. I'll go zoom in tight, go right between each one of these. Right click, left click coordinate, copy to clipboard, back over to BaseCamp. Right. Now, file, new. Oh, by the way, have your list selected. Now, I've already done this, but I'm going to show you. I'll do it again. Okay, so have your list selected, then file, new, waypoint. Okay, your mouse cursor changes. Note the little dot on it and just click anywhere. And then after that, we can either click the little speech bubble here or double click over here. So I'll double click over here. Okay, so I'm going to call this MISS ALA I10 Border, and I will change this to a dot, and then I'm going to delete this entirely. And then I have the, yes, it says invalid input, but I can right click and paste the coordinates and then click outside the field and then double click this again. There it is, we're good. So I click on the little hand, or I go to Tools, Pan, and then I'm going to use my mouse wheel, scroll up. Now, although it shows the border right here, this is fine. This is fine. Okay. Now, I'm going to double click this to open this up, and proximity, there we go. And I'll just, oops, not 52, 2. No, not 20 feet, 2 mile, there we go. Now here is the cool part. Let me X this out, I'm going to back up. Look at that, there's the radius. So when I get within 2 miles of here, I am going to get an alert on my Garmin, which is great. But only after we export this as a GPX and convert it first. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, so I've got the I10 border. So now what I need to do is I have to get the US98 warning, which is up here. So scroll, 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 scroll. Get in tight. Right click, left click, copy to clipboard, got my coordinates, and repeat. File, new, waypoint, click. This time I'll click on the speech bubble. Okay. and rename this US98 Border, change to a dot, go in position, delete, paste, click in a field, and I'll just double click this one to show it. There we are. And then I'm going proximity 2 miles. X this out temporarily, and tools, pan, back up. There's my border. Oh, that's beautiful. Now let's just say I wanted to change this border. Well, while I have the red circle visible, double click this. I'll have to back up again so I can see it. There we go. And I'll change this to 1 mile. See, it changed it. Or I can do, we'll just say 0.5 or 0.25 and so on. But I want it as 2. I need 2 miles of warning before I get there. So there we go. I've got, I'm showing both. There's this one and that one. Doing good. Now we need to export this so I can go to POI loader and then load this in. So, and by the way, this list name, this custom thing, this will be the category name when you go to list your POIs in the Garmin itself, just so you're aware of that. Okay, file, export, custom. So make sure that you have your list selected first, just with a single left click. File, export, custom. And what I'm going to do is just plop this right on the desktop. So I'm just going to go, and it's going to be a GPX. If it's not, make sure if it says GDB, no, we don't do the database file. We do the GPS exchange format, GPX. It has to be that. Desktop and save. I'm going to minimize this. There it is. Very good. And now is when I load my POI loader. Welcome to POI loader. One note before continuing, if you did see this other video, you'll notice I did not have the file name as a specific name with safety or alert or any of that other stuff. Well, you don't have to in this one when you actually have the proximity directly set in the GPX data itself. That's why we don't have to do it when we have the GPX thing going on here with the proximity data within. So next, now this time I showed how to send to computer first time. This one I'm going to send directly to the device, directly to the nuvi 40. It's going to find it. Yep, we're good. Next. Now, I want to make this real clear. Don't do the remove all previous. I'll get back to that in a second because it will remove all your POIs. Don't do that. So we will do, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to put this in a folder just to be on the safe side. So I will right click the desktop, new folder, and I'll just call it GPX. And I will take this, right click, cut, open this, right click, paste. Okay, so now it is in here. We're doing that just as a precaution. POI loader, next, to the device, next, to the nuvi, next, install new, next, and I'm going to just have this from the desktop. So where are we at? Desktop, down here somewhere. GPX, there it is. Please select the folder where the data files can be found. It's on desktop, GPX, fine, and we'll just call it, I'll just call it custom. Okay, fine. feet and mile per hour. Now I could set it to meters and kph, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it as is because it should read it directly from the GPS. Use the express method and next, and install 2 custom POIs. Finish. Now back over here, and I just refreshed it. There is the custom one I just sent. So I have the Garmin plugged in. There is a POI folder in there. If there is not, POI loader will create one. If you do need to delete GPIs, especially if you have multiple ones off your device, this is the way you would go about it. You would actually plug it into the computer and then do it this way. There is no way to manually delete a GPI from the device itself. You can send it to the device, but as far as instructing software to do it, no. We have to do it the manual way. But again, that's okay because we're all just a bunch of ding-dang nerds. I am a navigation nerd and proud of it. Thank you. Anyway, so it's here. Now what will occur is that when I get to within 2 miles of 98, when crossing from Mississippi into Alabama, 2 miles either taking Interstate 10 or US 98, I will get an alert. It's going to give me the tone. It's like, oh, hey, this is coming. And then I will know. I got to get my GPS off the glass. And I got 2 miles to do it. Now, the last thing I will say here is, well, let's just say, well, I want even more warning in advance. I want 5 miles of warning. 5. You would think, oh, well, I'll just increase the radius to 5. Well, I wouldn't exactly do that because you can run into some problems here. And I'll do it with the I10 one. Now, let's just say I did the ridiculous thing of setting this to a 5-mile radius. Okay, and I back this up, and oh god, it's huge. Yeah, I would not recommend doing this because it crosses over into so much other territory that no, not smart. But I'll show you what is smart. If you want, so I'm looking at this right now, and I know that 5 miles is right here. Okay, you see this button right here? Move point. Let me see if I can find this up here. Oh, it is here. Okay, so if you don't have this icon, Tools, Move Point. I think I can do it this way. Yep, move over here. Okay, then change this back to 2 mile. Actually, I don't even have to do that. I could change it to 0.25. So let's do 0.25. Yeah, not 0.325. No, it's going to say 3. Okay, fine. So what? Oops, hold on. Tools, pan. Okay. So now what will occur is that this is 5 miles from here. And this makes a whole lot more sense compared to having this giant radius. This is especially advantageous if you're doing alerts like this in a city and it's kind of a tight space, but you need adequate warning. So instead of having a giant radius, what you do instead is you just move the point, which I just showed you how to do. And then you do the thing of file, export, and then get your GPX, and then go into POI loader and send it over to the device, and then it's on your device, and all is well. And yes, I did test this, and yep, it absolutely works. So, yep, we're good there. Oh, there's one other last thing I should say. Again, notice that I have OpenStreetMap, my OpenStreetMap stuff on here. It will work with that. So regardless of what data, map data you have, whether it is Garmin issued maps or OpenStreetMap, whether it's mine or from OpenMapChest or userbeam.de or Gmap tool or any other place that you would get OpenStreetMap, your alerts will still work. And that's nice. So when you're putting all this effort into this, well, geez, will it work regardless of what map I have? Yes. And this is also true when you upgrade from one map to the next. So from when the next Garmin map release is issued, or let's just say like next month, you download my maps when I do my October release. Yeah, I should be releasing one in October. Yeah, your alerts will still work. So sweet. Nice. And that's it.